Power is not a reward for your virtue. It is the natural consequence of your refusal to be a victim. Most people will live and die as background characters in someone else's narrative. You are currently one of them. You feel it when you walk into a room and the atmosphere remains unchanged. You feel it when you speak and your words carry the weight of dust. You have been told that if you work hard, follow the rules and treat others with kindness, the world will eventually hand you the keys to the kingdom. This is the lie that keeps the hierarchy stable. Society does not want you to be powerful. It wants you to be predictable. It wants you to be a reliable, emotional, and reactive unit of production. The moment you seek balance or fairness, you have already lost. Fairness is the consolation prize for those who lack the strength to dictate terms. Becoming powerful is simpler than you think because it does not require you to add anything to your personality. It requires you to subtract. It requires the systematic liquidation of the child within you that still seeks approval. This knowledge has a cost. Once you understand the mechanism of dominance, you can no longer blame the world for your position in it. You will lose the comfort of your excuses. You will lose the safety of the crowd. If you are ready to stop being a ghost, listen. The first law, the architecture of the void. The world is loud, and you are contributing to the noise. This is your first mistake. Most people suffer from an addiction to being known. They explain their plans, they justify their mistakes, and they broadcast their emotions as if the world were a waiting room for their validation. In the hierarchy of power, the man who explains himself is a subordinate. The moment you offer an explanation that was not demanded by a superior force, you are handing over your sovereignty. Power lives in the vacuum. When you speak, you reveal your boundaries, your fears, and your level of intelligence. When you remain silent, you become a mirror. People fear what they cannot categorize. If they cannot find your edges, they cannot manipulate you. Here is the brutal truth. Your need to be understood is a form of cowardice. It is the desire to be liked disguised as communication. A sovereign does not care if he is understood. He only cares if he is effective. Machiavelli understood that the prince must be a master of shadows. You do not need to be the loudest person in the room to control it. You need to be the person who speaks the least and observes the most. While others are busy trying to impress each other with their words, you are mapping their insecurities. You are finding the leverage points. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is a weaponized presence. The next time someone questions your motives, do not defend them. Look at them. Wait. Let the silence become heavy. Let the discomfort grow until they feel the need to fill it. He who speaks first to break the tension is the one who has surrendered. This is not about being mysterious. This is about being a black hole. Nothing escapes, and nothing is given away for free. The second law, the liquidation of empathy. You have been conditioned to believe that empathy is a strength. It is not. It is a biological tether that allows others to pull your strings. To be powerful is to be emotionally autonomous. Most people are reactive. If someone insults them, they become angry. If someone praises them, they become vain. They are like instruments played by the hands of everyone they meet. They have no internal core. Power is the ability to remain unmoved by the internal states of others. This is not about being a sociopath. It is about being a strategist. When you feel for someone, you lose the ability to see them clearly. You begin to make decisions based on their comfort rather than your objectives. The sovereign views human interaction as a series of movements on a chessboard. You do not feel sorry for the pawn you sacrifice. You do not feel angry at the knight that threatens you. You analyze the position and you move. Most people fail because they are too good to win. They have internalized a slave morality that rewards them for their own suffering. They believe that being a good person is a shield. It is not. It is a target. The brutal reality is that the world is divided into predators and prey. But there is a third category, the sovereign. The sovereign is not interested in the hunt for the sake of blood. He is interested in the maintenance of his own domain. He realizes that kindness is a tool to be used sparingly, not a default setting. If you want to be powerful, you must kill the part of you that feels guilty for winning. You must realize that your ascent requires others to remain below you. This is the geometry of the world. There is no top without a bottom. The third law, the currency of withdrawal. You are too available. In your desperate attempt to be relevant, you have made yourself common. You answer every text, you attend every gathering, and you offer your opinion to anyone who will listen. You are a commodity with an infinite supply, and therefore your value is zero. Power is a function of scarcity. The moment you become predictable, you become a tool. Tools are used until they break, and then they are replaced. If people know exactly how you will react, they no longer have to respect you. They only have to manage you. Withdrawal is the ultimate display of dominance. When you pull back your attention, you create a crisis in the minds of those who have grown used to it. They begin to wonder why. They begin to work to regain your favor. This is where the power shift happens. You are no longer the one seeking entry. You are the one who has closed the door. Consider the difference between the sun and a flashlight. The sun does not ask for your attention. It is simply there, and without it, you die. It is distant, blinding, and indifferent. The flashlight is in your hand, obeying your thumb, used only when the lights go out. Most of you are flashlights. You wait in the drawer of someone else's life, hoping to be turned on. To become the sun, you must be willing to burn those who get too close. You must be willing to disappear. If your absence does not change the temperature of the room, your presence never mattered to begin with. Stop trying to be essential through service. Become essential through sovereignty. This is where it flips. Most people think power is about doing more. It is actually about being less accessible. It is about the refusal. The moment you realize you can say no without an explanation, you have taken your first step out of the herd. The herd always explains. The herd always justifies. The sovereign simply decides. The fourth law, the cult of transparency. The modern world is obsessed with authenticity. You are told to be yourself, to speak your truth, and to be vulnerable. This is a trap designed to make you easy to manage. When you are transparent, you are naked. You are showing everyone exactly where to strike. A man who wears his heart on his sleeve is not being honest. He is being reckless. He is handing over the blueprints to his fortress and wondering why he keeps getting invaded. Power requires a mask. The sovereign understands that truth is a tactical resource, not a moral obligation. You do not tell the truth because it is right. You tell the truth when it serves the objective. When it does not, you provide a version of reality that keeps others exactly where you want them. This is not about lying for the sake of malice. This is about the preservation of your internal state. If people know your true opinions, your true grievances, and your true ambitions, they can prepare for you. They can build defenses. But if you provide them with a curated image, a polite, professional, and slightly detached version of yourself, they will interact with the image while the real you operates in the dark. Here is the paradox. The more you hide, the more people will trust the version of you they see. They will assume that because you are consistent, you are real. They will never suspect the machinery grinding beneath the surface. Most people are too lazy to maintain a mask. They want the relief of venting. They want the catharsis of telling someone off. This is a luxury of the weak. The sovereign does not vent, he calculates. He does not seek catharsis, he seeks results. If you cannot control your face, you cannot control your life. If you cannot curate your words, you are nothing more than a biological reaction to external stimuli. True power begins the moment you realize that your internal world is a private sanctuary, and no one, not your friends, not your family, not your partners, is entitled to enter it without your express permission. The fifth law, the illusion of effort. You have been taught that hard work is the path to success. This is a slave's philosophy. If hard work were the key to power, the man breaking stones in the sun would be the king of the world. He is not. He is the most replaceable element in the system. Power is not about exertion. Power is about leverage. The sovereign does not hustle, the sovereign positions. While the masses are exhausting themselves running on the treadmill of productivity, the powerful are looking for the one button that makes the whole machine move. Here is where it flips. Most people work hard because they are afraid of the vacuum. They fill their time with busyness to avoid the terrifying realization that they have no actual influence. They mistake motion for progress. You must learn the art of being effortlessly dominant. When you struggle, when you sweat, when you show the world how hard you are trying, you are signaling that the task is at the limit of your capability. You are showing your ceiling. A sovereign makes the difficult look inevitable. When you execute a move, it should appear as if it were the only possible outcome. This creates an aura of inevitability. People do not fight inevitability, they submit to it. Think of the difference between a man shouting to be heard and a man whispering so that everyone must lean in. The shouter is exerting effort. The whisperer is exercising power. If you are always busy, you are a servant to your schedule. If you are always working, you are a servant to your goals. The moment you stop reacting to the clock and start making the clock react to you, the hierarchy shifts. Stop trying to prove how hard you work. Start proving how little you need to work to achieve 10 times the result. This is not about being lazy. This is about the cold, mathematical application of force at the exact point of least resistance. Most people fail here because their ego demands that they be seen as disciplined and diligent. Kill your ego. The sovereign does not care about being seen as a hard worker. He only cares about the crown. The sixth law. The architecture of the social chessboard. Let us look at a concrete scenario. Imagine a social gathering or a professional meeting. A man, let us call him the pawn, enters the room. He is smiling too much. He is shaking hands with too much vigor. He is making jokes to break the ice. He is checking his phone every 30 seconds to see if he is still relevant. He is networking. He is invisible. Now, imagine the sovereign enters. He does not smile immediately. He scans the room. He does not seek out the most important person. He waits for the room to orient itself toward him. He finds a position of physical dominance, usually a spot where his back is protected and he can see all exits. He speaks only when spoken to, and when he does, his sentences are short, declarative, and devoid of filler words. When someone attempts to test him with a backhanded compliment or a subtle insult, the pawn would laugh it off or get defensive. The sovereign does nothing. He looks at the person. He allows the silence to do the work. He makes the aggressor feel the weight of their own stupidity. This is the part most people miss. Power is not something you do. It is something you are. You are currently playing the role of the pawn because you are afraid of the tension. You are afraid of being the difficult one. You are afraid of not being part of the team. But the team is a collection of people who are going nowhere. If you want to move the pieces, you must realize that you are not on the board. You are the hand above it. This means detaching yourself from the outcome of any single interaction. If a deal falls through, you do not mourn. If a friend betrays you, you do not weep. You simply adjust the board. You remove the broken piece and you continue. Most people are paralyzed by their connections. They are afraid to lose people. The sovereign understands that everyone is a bridge. Some bridges take you to the destination. Others lead to a swamp. You do not maintain a bridge that leads to a swamp just because you've spent a long time crossing it. You burn it and find a better route. This sounds cold to the weak. To the sovereign, it is simply efficiency. The seventh law, the sovereign mindset and the death of hope, is a parasite. It is the belief that things will get better without your intervention. It is the waiting room of the soul. The powerful do not hope. They ensure. You must reach a state of internal dominance where you no longer need the world to be good for you to be okay. Most people's happiness is dependent on external factors: the economy, their boss's mood, their partner's affection. They are slaves to the weather. The sovereign creates his own climate. This requires a radical acceptance of the worst-case scenario. When you are no longer afraid of being alone, you cannot be manipulated by the threat of isolation. When you are no longer afraid of being poor, you cannot be bought. When you are no longer afraid of death, you become a god. This is the irreversible change I promised. You are currently held together by the opinions of people you don't even like. You are living a life designed to satisfy a ghost. Whether it's your parents, your peers, or society, you are performing for an audience that isn't even watching. Becoming powerful is simpler than you think, because it only requires one thing: the total, uncompromising abandonment of the old you. The person who cared about fairness, the person who wanted to be liked, the person who wanted to be liked, the person who waited for permission. That person must die today. The death of your former self is not a tragedy, it is a necessity. You cannot become the person you are meant to be while clinging to the person you were taught to be. Most people are walking graveyards of their own potential, carrying the rotting corpse of their childhood insecurities into every boardroom and every bedroom. They wonder why they feel heavy. They wonder why they cannot fly. The sovereign knows that to build a cathedral you must first clear the rubble of the shack that stood there before. The eighth law, the discipline of detachment. Most people suffer because they are attached to things they do not control. They are attached to their reputation, their possessions, and the loyalty of others. They believe that these things define them. The sovereign understands that everything is temporary. If you own something that you cannot walk away from in 30 seconds, you do not own it. It owns you. This applies to your house, your car, and your relationships. The moment you need someone, you have given them a knife. You have shown them exactly where to cut if they ever decide to leave. This is the part most people miss. Detachment is not about being cold or unfeeling. It is about being unmanipulatable. When you are detached, you can see the world for what it actually is, not what you hope it to be. You see the friend who is using you for your status. You see the partner who is using you for your stability. You see the boss who is using you for your labor. And because you are detached, you do not get angry. You simply decide if the transaction is still favorable. If it is not, you leave. No drama, no long explanations, no closure. Closure is a myth created by people who are too weak to handle an abrupt ending. The sovereign does not need closure. He needs progress. Consider the sunk cost of your current life. You stay in jobs you hate and relationships that drain you because you have invested time. Time is gone. It is a spent resource. To stay out of loyalty to your past is to commit a crime against your future. The moment you realize that you are the only permanent fixture in your life, the power dynamic shifts. You are no longer a guest in other people's lives. They are guests in yours. And you have the right to revoke their invitation at any time. The ninth law, the weaponization of chaos. The world is chaotic, and most people are terrified of it. They seek security. They seek stability. They want to know that tomorrow will look exactly like today. The sovereign realizes that stability is a plateau. Power is found in the fluctuations. When things fall apart, when the market crashes, when the company rebrands, when the social circle fractures, most people panic. They freeze. They look for someone to tell them what to do. This is where you accelerate. Chaos is a ladder for those who do not have an emotional stake in the status quo. While others are mourning what was, you are already calculating what will be. You do not fear the storm. You are the one who knows how to use the wind to turn your mill. Think of a predator in the wild. It does not wait for the perfect conditions to hunt. It uses the rain to mask its scent. It uses the darkness to mask its movement. It uses the chaos of the environment to its advantage. You must become a predator opportunity. This requires you to be anti-fragile. A fragile system breaks under stress. A robust system survives stress. An anti-fragile system grows because of stress. To be powerful is to be anti-fragile. Every insult, every setback, and every betrayal must be treated as fuel. If someone tries to sabotage you, do not fight them. Use their energy to pivot into a better position. If the world tries to crush you, use the pressure to turn your coal into a diamond. Most people fail because they are trying to fix the chaos. The sovereign does not fix the chaos, he masters it. He understands that the only true security is his own ability to adapt, to pivot, and to strike when the rest of the world is too busy crying about the change. The 10th law, the sovereign's legacy and the end of validation. We live in an age of digital approval. You are taught to measure your worth in likes, views, and shares. You are taught that your life only matters if it is witnessed and validated by the crowd. This is the ultimate form of slavery. If you need the crowd to tell you that you are successful, the crowd owns your success. And the crowd is fickle. The same people who cheer for you today will stone you tomorrow for the sake of entertainment. The sovereign builds his legacy in silence. True power does not need to be broadcast. It does not need to be proven. If you are truly powerful, you don't need a plaque on the wall or a blue check mark next to your name. Your power is felt in the way people respond to your presence, in the way your decisions ripple through your environment, and in the internal peace you feel when the lights go out. Most people are performing power. They buy the expensive cars they can't afford, they drop names they barely know, and they post hustle quotes while they sit on their couch. This is a confession of weakness. It is a scream for help. The sovereign does not perform. He simply is. He builds his wealth in secret. He builds his skills in the dark. He builds his body in the early hours of the morning when the rest of the world is dreaming of being like him. Validation is for children. Results are for rulers. If you are still looking for a thank you, you are still a servant. If you are still looking for a good job, you are still a student. The moment you stop looking for external confirmation is the moment you become truly dangerous. Because a man who wants nothing from the world is a man the world cannot control. Becoming powerful is simpler than you think, because it is a return to your natural state. Look at a child before they are civilized by the school system and the workforce. They are direct. They are focused on their desires. They do not care about social norms or politeness unless it gets them what they want. They are inherently sovereign. Society's goal is to break that sovereignty, to turn that fire into a dim, manageable blow. They tell you that being selfish is a sin, but the most selfish thing you can do is to remain weak, because a weak man is a burden to everyone around him. A weak man is bitter, he is resentful, and he is prone to petty acts of malice because he lacks the strength to do anything grand. A powerful man is a benefit to his domain. He provides order, he provides direction. He provides a standard that others must rise to meet. But you cannot provide order for others until you have established it within yourself. You must audit your life with the coldness of a forensic accountant. Who are the people draining your energy? Remove them. What are the habits softening your mind? Kill them. What are the lies you tell yourself to feel better about your lack of progress? Confront them. This is where power actually lives. It lives in the 3 a.m. decisions. It lives in the refusal to take the easy path. It lives in the cold, hard realization that no one is coming to save you. The hero's journey is a lie. There is no magical mentor. There is no sword in the stone. There is only the long, lonely process of carving yourself out of the rock of your own mediocrity. Are you willing to be the sculptor and the stone? Are you willing to feel the chisel? Most people are not. They would rather remain a shapeless lump of clay molded by the hands of others because it is less painful. They are right. It is less painful to be a slave. It is less painful to be a pawn. But if you are still listening, it is because you have realized that the pain of being nothing is far worse than the pain of becoming something. The person who started watching this video no longer exists. That person was a collection of hopes, fears, and social conditioning. That person was a nice guy. That person was a hard worker. That person was a card, work. That person was a ghost. You are now entering the stage of the sovereign. You are a different kind of animal now. You are the one who observes the silence. You are the one who manages the mask. You are the one who understands that power is not a destination, but a way of moving through the world. The masses will not understand you. They will call you cold. They will call you arrogant. They will call you distant. Let them. Their labels are the bars of the cage they live in. You are outside the cage. You do not need to speak their language. You do not need to speak their language. You do not need to follow their rules. You only need to maintain your sovereignty. The world is a vast, interconnected web of power dynamics. Every conversation, every look, every transaction is a move on the board. Most people are playing checkers. You are now playing the game of kings. The change is only permanent if it is signaled to the world. Do not like this video as a fan. Do not subscribe as a follower. If you have understood the weight of what has been said, if you are ready to pay the price of sovereignty, leave a single word in the comments. Decided. Do not explain it. Do not add emojis. Do not tell a story. Just the word. This is your contract with yourself. It is the signal that you have crossed the threshold. It is the moment the pawn becomes the hand. Subscribing to this channel is not an act of support for me. I do not need your support. It is a contract with your future self. It is the decision to keep the mirror in front of your face. It is the refusal to let the world lull you back into the sleep of the common man. If you are satisfied with being a ghost, leave. Go back to the noise. Go back to the hustle. Go back to the vulnerability. But if you are ready to see how deep the architecture of power goes, stay. The next phase will be more difficult. The cost will be higher. But the reward is the only thing worth having in this life. Total, internal, dominance. The clock is ticking, the board is set, move.